GCSE question of the week, week 12. Okay, these are calculator questions. So question number 1 is really testing that you know how to use the cube button on your calculator, or that you know what cube means, so that you could do 2.9 times 2.9 times 2.9. So it's a nice simple question. We're going to put 2.9. We're going to find our cubed button, which if you have a calculator like mine, there's a dedicated button. It's just on the left of the big purple circle. And we get 2.9 cubed. As simple as that. We've got 24.389. So that's 24.389. Now it's a pretty unlikely question on the foundation tier, at least at calculator paper. You could be asked to do this on a non-calculator paper. So let's just check through quickly that you'd know how to do that. Alright, we'd start by doing 29 times 29. So we're going to take out the decimal points. We're going to use some long multiplication. 9 nines are 81, 2 nines are 18, 18 plus that carried 8 gives me 26. Put down my 0, 2 nines are 18, 2 twos are 4, plus the 1 gives me 5. So we get a 1, we get a 14, and we get an 8. Okay, so 29 times 29 is 841. That means that 2.9 times 2.9, with 2 digits after the decimal points, we need the same number of digits after the decimal point in our answer. It's going to be 8.41, which sounds about right. 3 squared is 9. Sounds good. Okay, so we're now going to do 8.41 times 2.9, but we're not really, are we? We're going to do the same trick again. We're going to do 841 times 29, get rid of all the decimal points. So a bit more work to do here. We've got 1 9 is 9, 4 9s 36, 8 9 72, plus that 3 75. Put down my 0, 1 2 is 2, 2 4s are 8, 2 8s are 16. Add those up, we get 9, we get 8, we get 13, we get 13 again, plus that carried 1, and we get 2. So we get 2, 4, 3, 8, 9, 24,389. But that's the answer to 841 multiplied by 29. We wanted 8.41 times 2.9. So what do? We check 1, 2, 3 digits after the decimal point, and we adjust our answer. So it's got 3 digits after the decimal point. So just like with our calculator, we got 24.389. And so next, replace the question mark with an integer. So an integer, a whole number, to make the following statement true. And we're going to explain our choice. Okay, so we've got 3/7 is less than, symbol's less than, that's confusing, that looks like an equals, not an underline. 3/7 is less than 9 somethingths. Okay, so what can we do? Right, well, some people in my group cleverly said, well, the thing on the right's got to be bigger than the thing on the left. So if we just make 9 ninths, that's equivalent to 1. So 9 ninths is equivalent to 1. And 9 ninths is definitely bigger than 3/7, which is a fraction less than 1. So that was good reasoning. And if they wrote that down as their explanation, that would be fine as an answer. But let's think, what other things could we have? So that 3/7, what does that mean? As an equivalent fraction, we can convert that to 9 somethingths. And how do we do that? Well, we multiplied that 3 by 3 to get to the 9. So as long as we do the same thing to the denominator, 7 times 3, we get 21. Those fractions are equivalent. So we know the statement 3/7 is equal to, the question mark would have to be a 21. So we could ask ourselves now, right, so if that's equal to the 3/7, what could I do to this 21 to make the 9 somethingths greater than the 3/7, or the 3/7 less than the 9 somethingths? Okay, so if we think that if I make that denominator smaller, that's going to make this fraction bigger. Why is that? Well, if we imagine quarters and we imagine thirds, let's think about having 2 quarters. That would be this. So I think about having 2 thirds. What's this amount? So it's looking like if we make this denominator smaller, the 3 is smaller than the 4, the overall fraction, when the numerator is still 2, is going to give us a bigger amount. And that's because we're splitting it up into fewer pieces. So I think we can turn that 21 into anything less than 21. Okay, so to make our statement correct, 3/7 is less than 9. That question mark could be any number that's less than or equal to 21. Okay, so the number we could put could be 920. I didn't mean that, did I? Not less than or equal to, sorry. That number could be less than 21. It cannot be 21, apologies. Okay, so that number needs to be less than 21. Could be 20, could be 19, could be 18. Perhaps I should have put less than or equal to 20. Either of those two are true. Okay, we could have 9/5. We could have 9/19. So as long as you chose a number that was less than 21, not equal to 21, less than 21, and gave your reasoning, you could draw some similar things to this, then that's fine. Okay, on to Mrs. Britton. She's paid £19 for a Christmas decoration, which is then reduced. In January, it's reduced by 57%. So it's reduced by 57%. That means its price goes down by 57%. So the best way to think about this is, okay, if its price has been reduced by 57%, then what have we got left to pay? Because that's the question. How much does it cost then? So if it's reduced by 57%, left to pay in January is 43%. Okay, if the price is reduced by 57%, 100 subtract that 57 gives us 43%. So if we found out 43% of the £19 in one go, that would tell us how much we've got left to pay. So we want 43% of £19. Okay, so 43%, I'm going to turn that to a decimal. So our multiplier is going to be 0.43. Okay, so we're going to divide the 43 by 100 to get 0.43 percentage to a decimal. And we want that fraction of times £19. So that's our calculation. 0.43 times 19. Okay, it's calculator paper. So we want 0.43. A funny display. Let's bring that up again. It's better. 0.43 multiplied by 19. Oops. So we get £8.17. Okay, now some people may have found the 57% multiplied by 0.57 and then subtracted that from the 19, but using this method is much quicker. We can do it in one go, so I would suggest you try and do that. Okay, again, someone in my group that likes the percentage button on their calculator, they would have gone 43, not converted the percentage to a decimal, but used their percentage button on the calculator. So that button is, I never use it, it's on the left bracket button. So I'm going to go Shift. That didn't work. I'm going to go Shift. It's better. 43%. And then I'll times that by the 19. So personally, I'd never use that percentage button. I find it confusing. I'd prefer to convert it to a decimal on my own. But that'll work and give you the same answer. Okay, so done. Number 3, finished. £8.17. Right, number 4, Mr. Amps buys no Christmas decorations and instead invests the £19 in an account paying 3% compound interest. Now, compound interest is the one where your interest gets added to the account and the next year you earn interest on your total amount, which includes the interest that's just been paid in for the last year. Okay, so again, there's a long-winded way of doing this. We could do £19, we want 3% of that. So some people said, right, well, let's find 3%. Okay, and it's calculator paper, so we haven't got to worry about not using it. We could find 3% by doing 19 times 0.03. Why 0.03? Because 3% divided by 100 to turn it into a decimal is not 0.3, it's 0.03. And that gives us 57 pence, 0.57 pounds. So then some people added that onto the 19. Okay, then we've got to multiply that again. There are lots and lots and lots of steps. Right, in that next step, we've got to add that amount onto the 19. That's how much is now in my account after year 1, £19.57. I can multiply that by 0.03. That's the interest I earn. Then I could add that on again. I've got loads and loads of steps. So we want a much quicker way of doing this. So what are we really doing? We're really taking the £19 and we're multiplying it by 0.03. But that 0.03 just gives me my interest. It gave us the 0.57, the 57 pence. Okay, I don't really want to then have to add that on. So what it would be better to do is think, right, what could I multiply by here so that it tells me my original amount plus the interest in one go? And that's really the same as saying, well, after 1 year, I'm not going to have 3% left. After 1 year, I'm going to have my 100%, which is the 19, plus 3%. So really, we're thinking about doing this calculation. We're thinking about doing £19 multiplied by 103%. Because that 103% keeps my original amount and adds 3% on. So what would my decimal multiplier be here? Well, it's 103 divided by 100. It's 1.03. So this is a much better calculation, because multiplied by 1.03 is going to tell me how much I've got when that 57 pence has been added on. It does it in one go. 19 times 1.03 gives me £19.57. It's done all of that in one go for me. It's calculated the 57 pence interest and added it onto the 19. Okay, so what would I do next? Well, next I do my £19.57 multiplied by 1.03 again. That will keep all of that original amount plus add on 3%. So I've got my £19.57. I can multiply by 1.03 again. This time I get £20.1571. We won't round yet, so £20.1571. So I've got to do this for 5 years. So I've got to do another step where I multiply that by 1.03, multiply by 1.03 again, and then finally one more time. But hopefully you've noticed that really every time all I'm going to do on my calculator is multiply by 1.03. Okay, how many times did I do that? Well, I did that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I multiply by 1.03, multiply by 1.03, by 1.03, by 1.03, by 1.03 5 times. So we can be much clever about this. We can do this calculation all in one go. Go away. Okay, I'll just leave that first step up and nothing else. That first step was our very first year. Gave us £19.57. Let's do this in one go. Instead, we're going to do £19, our original starting amount, multiplied by 1.03 times 1.03 times 1.03 times 1.03 times 1.03. But what's that? That's just 1.03 to the power of 5. Okay, this is going to do our calculation in one single go. Okay, we're going to do £19 multiplied by 1.03. Now I could put brackets around that, but Bidmus is going to take care of it. It's going to do my power first, so I'm actually good. I'm going to use Shift and then my power button, which is just underneath my purple circle. It is not that. Shift just underneath my purple. Oh, I don't want Shift, idiot. Okay, it's not Shift, I beg your pardon. It's just underneath the purple circle. Okay, it's directly on a button. It says X to the power of a little filled in white square. Okay, and we want a 5. So we've got 19 multiplied by 1.03 to the power of 5. And in one go, we get our answer. We get £22, and we can only round it to 2 decimal places to get pence. So we've got £22 and 3 pence to 2 decimal places. So £23 and 2 pence, was that right? No, not what I just said. £22 and 3 pence. That 2 is going to round to a 3, beg your pardon. £22 and 3 pence. Okay, so try and do those in that much quicker way. £19 times 1.03 to the power of 5. £23, 3 pence.